Hey, well, we left 2020 behind and we're entering into 2021, a couple of weeks into it, and I bet you're still wondering if you took the red pill or the blue pill.
Why, oh why didn't I take the blue pill?
It seems we live in the information age, but you know what? We still have way more questions than we did years ago. And here's a tough one. Here's one. Can you refuse unsafe work due to COVID-19?
Yes, due to COVID.
You'd think that those questions would have been answered way back when we started dealing with this at the start of 2020. But it still seems that people are still asking that question. I get asked that question, and I know lots of my safety professional colleagues do as well. And you know what? It's an obvious question, considering that the CEO of Moderna earlier this week said that we're going to be stuck with this virus forever. Yeah, kind of doomsday, forever. So once again, can we refuse unsafe work due to COVID-19? So first off, some important stuff. Number one, my name's Kevin Barrett. I'm a health and safety professional, and I make health and safety related videos. I'm not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer.
Nope, that's right, not a lawyer. Just to clear that one up. Next thing is if you're a worker who is susceptible to COVID-19 or one of what's considered a vulnerable person because of advanced age or existing medical conditions or many of the different criteria that's come into light in the past 9-10 months, then what I suggest you do is talk to your doctor and your employer, HR professionals, union, etc., and consider looking at accommodation or whatever, because you know what? This video is not for you. Okay, this video is strictly to talk about refusing unsafe work due to the presence of COVID-19 in the workplace. That being said, let's put 7 minutes up on the clock up here, and we're going to get into it. The question to ask before we get into refusing unsafe work is, what is unsafe, or what constitutes an unsafe workplace? Now, I've talked more about it in a couple of other videos, and I'll leave some links at the end of this video, or they'll be down in the description. And you know what? There's many different definitions out there. There is. I'm going to read you one ad verbatim, and just to explain it a bit more. It's any situation, process, or thing that, if used or the action is undertaken, could cause you harm to you, the worker, or another, and it should be considered unsafe. Basically, in other words, if you're participating in something or doing something or using something, and it could cause you harm or harm to another, then it's unsafe. Basically, let's look at it this way. Let's put it in a basic possible definition. If there are no adequate controls or inadequate controls to reduce or eliminate hazards, then it should be considered unsafe. Plain and simple. It's a lack of necessary controls or an absence of necessary controls to reduce or eliminate hazards. One other quick point is, fear of COVID itself does not constitute an unsafe workplace. Okay, fear of COVID or fear of catching it or contracting it does not constitute an unsafe workplace. It's the lack or absence of the controls. So what does this mean? Well, first off, number one, everything differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Hey, my friends in the United States, couple of things. There'll be some information links in the description. Plus, towards the end of this video, I'm going to leave a link up here for a colleague of mine in the United States, Rachel Walla with Ally Safety. She's got a channel on YouTube, and she talks more about OSHA's reporting requirements for COVID-19 in the workplace, and has some very good information. So I encourage you to check that link out if you haven't already. Back here in Canada, the Chief Medical Officers of Health, both federally and provincially, have provided guidelines for workers in almost every single industry sector. And these guidelines are to reduce or eliminate the hazards that may be present where you could contract COVID-19 working in the workplace. Now, the key here is the absence or inadequacy of the controls that are in place. So that's the question. Has your employer used these controls that are described in these guidelines and implemented them correctly, or are they inadequate or absent? Now, I'm talking about, like, some good examples would be social distancing markers and social distancing boundaries in the retail sector, plexiglass barriers, the ability for those that are handling money or going to be interchanging things with members of the public, that they have gloves, is there masks being implemented, etc. These are controls. If you believe that your employer is not using these controls in the way that they're outlined or supposed to be done, then yes, you have the right to refuse unsafe work. However, the process is still the same. Number one, you have to be doing it in good faith. You have to have a bona fide reason. You can't just do it because you want to get out of work or you have absolute fear of COVID. You have to follow whatever you have outlined in the workplace as a written procedure, but all of them are basically the same. You start with the supervisor, explain the situation to your supervisor. Your supervisor then investigates and corrects the unsafe work or the environment that's making the work unsafe, or declares it as safe. During all of this, as a worker, you can't be deprived of any wages or the ability to make an income. You also can be assigned different work outside of that environment where there is no hazards. Other workers can be assigned to do the work as long as they've been explained that there's been a refusal for unsafe work. If you're not satisfied with the supervisor's findings, you have the right to go to the Health and Safety Committee, and the Health and Safety Committee does the investigation as well. It's not unusual that the Health and Safety Committee, a member may be with the supervisor during the whole process as well, initially, when the initial investigation is going on. Either way, if you're not satisfied with the supervisor's findings, the Occupational Health and Safety Committee's findings, then you have the right to speak to an OHS authority. As I've outlined in a previous video, they will investigate, conduct interviews, do the usual investigative process, and then deliver their findings, whether it be that there's an unsafe environment and it has to be corrected, or the environment is safe to work in. Once again, though, during the whole entire process, you cannot be deprived of any wages so that you have the opportunity to still make money. So put all of that fear aside. Once again, there's going to be some helpful links and information below. I suggest that you look it up and make sure that you're well aware of the requirements for your jurisdiction. Just to put it all together, being informed is the best protection that you have. This is kind of the reason that I do these videos, is to inform workers and employers of health and safety requirements and health and safety processes. So make sure that you go to your provincial, federal, or union information website for more information. I'm going to try and stuff as many links as I can below, but once again, it's up to you to also make sure that you're informed, either through your workplace training processes or other information that's credible and available to you. Also, participate in any of the training processes that your employer has outlined for you in order to prevent any hazards or any problems with COVID-19 in your workplace. While COVID-19 might be a source of grave concern for you, once again, fear of COVID-19 does not necessarily make the workplace unsafe. Ensure that you cooperate with the process, and once again, follow the order. Talk to your supervisor first. If you're not satisfied, your Joint Occupational Health and Safety Committee or your worker representative. And then finally, if necessary, go to the OHS authorities for your jurisdiction. Hey, thanks for watching. Do me a favor. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, let me know why down below. If you have comments, feel free. Give me a comment. I appreciate anything that I hear from you. I'm going to leave either some information right here on this side, or there will be some links in the description below for you to consider. But until we see each other again, do me a favor. Think safety, talk safety, do safety. That way we provoke it at home and in the workplace. Take care. Bye for now.